Hi, and welcome to Libby Presents Ghost News Network. Today is our paranormal news and discussion. Tom's got our topic for us. What do you got, Tom?
So our old friend Zach Baggins was in the news again this week.
That grumble.
For an exhibit in his museum. He recently had purchased, they call it the Devil's Rocking Chair as part of the Warren collection.
Oh, yeah.
And brought it to his museum in Vegas. And apparently shortly after they set that up there was all kinds of guests were having reactions to it, staff were having reactions to it, and apparently someone, and off the top of my head I can't remember if it was staff or guest, I think this one was a guest, wasn't like right near the rocking chair but was in the floor directly above it and had like a severe reaction, like had a seizure. And then with no prior occurrences of that in the past, and they actually wound up taking the exhibit down because a lot of people have been reporting having strong reactions to this thing.
The thing is, the Warrens took precautions when they set up their stuff. That doesn't mean things can't happen. I don't know, and I don't want to say yes, and I don't want to say no definitely, but I don't believe personally that Zach Baggins takes the proper precautions whenever he's setting up things in his museum. Anything that comes from the Warrens, I would take extra care of. And I mean, honestly, I would also have not have sold it to Zach Baggins. But that's just me. I don't know about that. That's interesting. What do you think, Mike? I don't know if you. Oh boy.
I haven't been to any of the museums of haunted artifacts. And these aren't just haunted artifacts. These are severe haunted artifacts.
Right.
I personally don't necessarily agree with putting it on display to make a buck. Mm-hmm. Because you're dealing with a force that obviously you don't fully respect. And I'll even take a stab at anybody that has a haunted museum. You don't know. They come in, pay a fee, you walk through, and then they go home. And you're allowing that. I don't know. I've never been on a demonic case, but I seem to view it a lot more severe than many in the field. That's why I stand on it. People can disagree with me, I really don't care. But you could talk to people that truly have demonic events and ask them what their thoughts are. I'm sure they're going to tell you the same thing I am. Don't put it on display. It shouldn't be on display. It shouldn't be like that. It's one thing if it's a bullshit haunted item, whatever, but when you talk about attachments and demonic activity, obviously it was taken out of somebody's home for a reason, and now you're putting that, out there for people to come through and, I don't know if they touch it. I don't know if people sit in it. I really don't know. But
You could venture to say too, Zach Baggins, it seems to thrive on the television, social aspect.
Yes. I've never been to his museum, so I'm not going to sit here and say, the Warrens, put stuff in boxes, they cordon it off, blah, 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 and he doesn't. I don't, I personally, I'm not going to comment on something I don't know. I've never been there. I think, Connor, you have been there. You may know a little bit more than me, but have you been to the Warrens Museum?
No.
So then you don't, you can say what you saw there, but you cannot do a comparison because you've never been to the Warrens Museum either.
Right, exactly. So, what I can say about Zach's museum, so I wasn't there to see the chair in question, but when I was there last October, they do a good job at cordoning off certain things. You're really not able to interact physically with anything. It's all out of arm's reach. There's a guide with you the entire time, so you're not physically playing with anything you're not supposed to be able to touch. But it's not like when we got there they did any sort of conversation or prayer or cleansing, or even when you leave nothing was done. You could buy some sage on the way out if you want for like $15.
Do they advise you, okay, if you start to experience X,
Not really. It's more like if people feels uncomfortable, there's a quick out at any point where the guide can open the door and you can pop right out.
Like a haunted house?
Yeah, exactly like a haunted house. You can pop right out if you need to at any point. Because they do have a few scares that are built into it. It's half thrill show, half check out these cool things. So I do say it was a fun time, but as far as legitimate exposure to paranormal items and things like that, it's a grain of salt.
Right.
And what I think, would be interesting to see is, this happened and they took down the display. So to me, that gives some credence to it.
Right.
Now, if all of a sudden a couple weeks from now we hear that it's back up and if they're not taking any other special precautions, then I'm going to question it and say, was this a publicity hoax?
Right.
Yes and no. Because you put the display up, stuff happened, you take it down, stuff stops. Was it because of the chair or not? We don't know. Put it back up. If it happens again, now you know.
Now the person has a seizure, good to go.
I mean, the person has a seizure, they have a history of seizures.
They said no.
They said no.
Yeah.
They said no. I work in the field. That's all I'm going to say is I work in the field, and many people say no, and they do.
Right.
So
We don't have access
Give me
to
your
medical records. Yeah.
We'll talk. Of course they said no.
I agree though. I like just exploiting all of that stuff. Really
Yeah,
shouldn't be
100%.
done, but I mean, I wouldn't also say that there's not a curiosity aspect of me to not want to see it.
Curiosity
Who doesn't
there,
have it? But
I mean, knowing in the field and knowing what
Oh,
could
yeah.
come of it, it's pretty real. I
Yeah.
mean, it's I don't know.
And especially, I mean, it's a museum with a lot of these artifacts, and, especially from a demonic standpoint. I mean, like, he's got artifacts from the demon house, which we've talked about before. So, you start mixing and matching these things, you don't know what kind of,
You're not dealing with just one, you're dealing with multiple now.
Right.
One's bad enough. Now, yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. That's where I stand.
yeah. Anybody else have anything they want to add? No? Alright, so thank you guys for joining us on this latest edition of Ghost News Network. Let us know in the comment section below about what you think of this. You can also click like, share, and subscribe, and you can also click the little notification bell to know when all of our content is being uploaded to YouTube. So again, thank you guys for joining us, and until next time, take care guys.